Why are there no big dApps on Ethereum? 10 years into the project, we still haven't seen an on-chain Amazon or eBay. Our blockchains simply can't handle the throughput, says Carter Feldman, CEO of Psi Protocol. On July 30, 2025, we will be celebrating a decade since Ethereum launched on mainnet. Inarguably one of the biggest milestones in this industry's short life. When it launched as the world's first smart contract platform, this was obviously something entirely new and a completely new way of thinking about software. Instead of renting access to someone else's platform that could change the rules or lock you out at any moment, one could, in theory, now participate in systems that belong to everyone and no one, where the rules were written in code and couldn't be arbitrarily changed by a CEO's whim. Users would own their date, and software would be maintained and managed by a network rather than a boardroom. The consequences seemed pretty utopian. However, nearly 10 years on from Ethereum's launch and the dreams of a Web3 version of Amazon, eBay, Facebook or TikTok haven't arrived and are nowhere on the horizon. Gavin Wood, Ethereum co-founder, and his vision of Web3 envisaged exactly that. Joe Lubin, the renowned founder of Consensys, said that Ethereum will have that same pervasive influence on our communications and our entire information infrastructure. The libertarian journalist Jim Epstein predicted a year after Ethereum's launch that the same types of services offered by companies like Facebook, Google, eBay, and Amazon will be provided instead by computers distributed around the globe. Vitalik Buterin himself envisaged Ethereum law, cloud storage, prediction markets, trading decentralized hosting your own currency in his 2014 Bitcoin Miami speech where he announced Ethereum to the world. Perhaps even Skynet, the fictional artificial neural network from the Terminator films. He has described the platform he created as both a threat and an opportunity to platforms like Facebook and Twitter back in 2021. The barrier to achieving this vision is scale. The most successful consumer applications today serve hundreds of millions of users. Instagram processes more than 1 billion photo uploads daily. eBay handles roughly $17 billion in transactions each quarter. Facebook's messaging platforms process trillions of messages annually. Ethereum processes about 14 transactions per second and Solana can handle over 1,000. Instagram handles over 1 billion photo uploads daily. eBay processes $17 billion in transactions quarterly. The math doesn't work. Let's entertain the decentralized eBay example for a moment. A truly decentralized eBay would demand far more than simple payments. Every listing creation or update would require on-chain transactions for item metadata, pricing, and condition details. Auctions would need automatic bidding resolution with time-locked smart contracts. Escrow systems would have to hold funds until delivery confirmation without arbitration for disputes. User reputation systems would require immutable rating storage tied to wallet addresses. Inventory management would need real-time stock tracking, possibly through tokenized goods. Shipping confirmations would demand Oracle integration for delivery proofs. Marketplace fees and tax royalties would need smart contract enforcement. Optional identity verification systems would require decentralized credential management. Each interaction would multiply the transaction load exponentially beyond what current infrastructure could support. It goes without saying that this would require a blockchain of unprecedented speed and throughput. Frankly, a decade after Ethereum, the infrastructure just hasn't been there to support it. The business model hasn't always made sense either. Modern applications need massive scale to generate revenue that covers development costs. Furthermore, Layer 2 solutions fragment users across platforms where, for example, Arbitrum users can't directly interact with Polygon applications. This defeats the purpose of building unified global computing. This isn't theoretical. OpenSea struggled with profitability despite dominating NFT trading with high-value transactions and fee-tolerant users. If you can't profit from selling digital art to crypto enthusiasts paying hundreds in fees, how do you build a marketplace for used goods? The economics are even worse for lower-value transactions that define mainstream commerce. A decentralized social network charging $5 per post would be dead on arrival. Gaming applications that require a few dollars in transaction fees for every item trade won't attract players who expect the same for free elsewhere. So far, the only viable on-chain businesses have been those that can extract massive value from relatively few users, essentially high-stakes financial applications and speculative trading. The industry accepted a false trade-off, security and decentralization, or functionality and scale, but not both. But transaction throughput has steadily increased and will continue to across networks as the technology matures. We can now achieve massive scale even with proof-of-work chains, maintaining the security and decentralization that made blockchain revolutionary in the first place rather than the premature embrace of proof-of-stake that compromised these principles. Zero-knowledge proofs allow users to prove transaction validity locally, submitting only small cryptographic proofs that are aggregated recursively and in parallel by a network of provers. Networks can process millions of transactions without every node verifying each one individually. When users prove their own transactions, the marginal cost of adding an additional transaction approaches zero, and blockchains can finally support the economics that mainstream applications require. But 10 years on, it's clear that the vision once laid out by the futurists of Web3 has moved at a disappointing pace. Let's hope the next decade moves a little faster, and fingers crossed, our blockchains too. Carter Feldman is the CEO and founder of Psi Protocol, a proof-of-work 2.0 blockchain using zero-knowledge proofs for massive scalability without compromising security. As an early proof-of-stake convert and now proof-of-work maxi, Carter's vision is shaped by direct experience with proof-of-stake's limitations as a former top 21 EOS block producer and deep technical expertise from his youth as a prominent game hacker and now a board member of a listed esports company. Carter is building Psi to overcome the blockchain trilemma, aiming to unlock new, high-throughput Web3 applications and fulfill crypto's promise of a truly decentralized, scalable internet infrastructure.